What's up everyone, today I have another top 10 video for all of you. So we're going to be talking about some more Pokemon Sun and Moon stuff. Originally I had this video planned for next week, but since Koro started to leak, and apparently there's going to be a lot of information next month, I decided to push through this video before anything else gets overridden of whatever I do here. So we're going to be doing my top 10 hopes for Mega Evolutions in Pokemon Sun and Moon. Now before we start off, I want to give a disclaimer. Of course, since these are my hopes for Mega Evolutions in the future, none of these evolutions exist. These are going to be completely fan-made. I do not own any of the art you're going to see in this video. I will credit everyone in the description and in the video. And lastly, I will only be discussing Pokemon we know about, so no Sun and Moon starters or legendaries. Let's kick this off with number 10, Skarmory. Here's my problem with Skarmory. I like Skarmory because he looks so cool. But for a really cool looking Pokemon, he has no other evolutions, he's just there. Skarmory joins other Pokemon in other generations like Druddigon, Spiritomb, Sudowoodo, who have no evolutions, but apparently they look like they should. Now Skarmory is actually a steel flying type Pokemon, and he's actually based off of a condor, but one of the things I found interesting is that one of the other birds he is based off of is actually a dinosaur, the Pteranodon. See, I'm telling you, I just don't know Japanese, I know dinosaur language too. We actually don't have many Pokemon that are based off of dinosaurs, so that can completely open up a whole world of possibilities of how Skarmory's Mega Evolution can look like. I'd say that since it's a steel flying type, it should stay that way because I don't see Skarmory turning into like a humanoid armored figure. I'd say Skarmory should stay steel flying type once he Mega Evolves, especially since he is the flying type Pokemon with the highest defense, thanks to its steel type. Number 9, Cofagrigus. Now here's one of those Pokemon you more than likely have already seen fan arts of, and for a very good reason. Now here's a shocking fact, there's actually no Gen 5 Pokemon that can Mega Evolve, which is insane. Cofagrigus completely deserves a Mega Evolution because it would make perfect sense, just like Skarmory, because he would have an awesome design. Cofagrigus is a coffin, so obviously there has to be something in it. Now most of you have probably already seen Mega Cofagrigus fan art, and the one that obviously came into mind when you thought of that was the one where there's a mummy coming out of Cofagrigus, and that makes perfect sense, man. He's a coffin, there has to be a mummy inside because of course you have that super cool Egyptian design on him. So what I think is that he should stay Dark Ghost type, but he should have a Mega Evolution where he has an ability that only he has, so it would be a complete new ability that would change up the game. Therefore, I think Cofagrigus should get a Mega Evolution because his design is just calling for it. He looks like he can evolve one more time. I would make a great first entry into Gen 5 Pokemon that can Mega Evolve. And no, I don't count that disgrace Audino as a Mega Evolution. Number 8, Lapras. Lapras has been around since Gen 1 and is one of the coolest Pokemon around. The reason this would make a great fit is based off my top 10 hopes video for Sun and Moon. I mentioned how we need to have some sort of Aeon Flute style traveling. Instead of that Pokemon being a flying Pokemon like Megalodios and Megalodios in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, maybe we can call a Lapras who will Mega Evolve so you can surf on it. Even though it's not necessary since he can still surf regardless. This can also add the possibility of having the Lapras surf sprite in the overworld and not have to carry a Pokemon with surf all the time. Lapras is a water ice type Pokemon, but honestly you couldn't even tell he's ice, so I say his new Mega Evolution should be water rock type because of that huge shell on its back. Maybe once he Mega Evolves, that huge shell could take over and maybe be some sort of armor. Number 7, normal Eevee. Now hear me out on this one. Instead of having to permanently evolve your Eevee to some evolution, what if instead we can keep normal Eevee and have it Mega Evolve? I don't see many people sticking with Eevee, and instead of course they evolve it into either Jolteon, Espeon, Umbreon mostly, but keeping Eevee with powered up stats would make a lot of people happy. Obviously he would stay normal type when he evolves, and a cool concept I thought of was for it to learn a move at a high level, meaning you would need an Evo Stone to prevent it from evolving to Espeon or Umbreon, and when it Mega Evolves, the move will be different. Now I think this move should be something similar to Tri-Attack for obvious reasons, and I think this should be the way Eevee should evolve. I don't think trading with like a certain item like Steelix and Scizor and whatever the other one is, Scyther, I don't think Eevee should evolve like that, because if we Mega Evolve him instead, we can just bring him back to regular Eevee, And in case if we wanted to in the future, we could just give it a stone and he would be Jolteon or Espeon or Umbreon, whichever you want. Alright, let's get the obvious one of the list out of the way. Solrock and Lunatone. And yes, I'm counting these as one entry. This is obvious because of, come on, the titles Sun and Moon. If Solrock and Lunatone do not have a Mega Evolution in the next games, people are gonna freak out. Now, I'm not sure how they would go about the designs of these Pokemon, but one thing I do think they should do is have Solrock go from Psychic Rock type to Fire Rock, because of course, as I already mentioned in the legendary predictions, fire should be, mostly what consists of Pokemon Sun, and I think Lunatone should evolve into a Dark Rock because, he's the moon, he's out during the dark. And I think this also could be the version exclusive Pokemon. Now, as far as they want to make sense, like, you can only catch Solrock in Pokemon Sun, or they want to mix it up like Pokemon Black and White's legendaries, you can only catch Solrock in Pokemon Moon, and vice versa. I don't know. I don't make the games. Number 5, Magearna. Now, we're actually not going to be spending that much time in this one because we don't know much about it, but from what I can guess, I'm guessing that this is going to be the first Gen 7 Pokemon to be revealed, and of course it must have some sort of importance, just like Zoroark was the first Pokemon for Gen 5 to be revealed, and he got a whole movie from him. Now, earlier this week it was confirmed by Coro that Magearna is actually Steel Fairy type. It makes sense. She looks like a gear and she looks like a fairy. I don't know. But of course, I think that she is the first Gen 7 Pokemon to be revealed. They're pulling another Zoroark. They're starting with one Pokemon to be revealed, and she's going to have some sort of importance. So I think she should definitely get a Mega Evolution. Number 4, Flygon. This should have already been done in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. Come on. Flygon is that badass dragon Pokemon of the region, and a Mega Evolution would look so cool. Personally, I was very, very shocked when I saw that Flygon was not getting a Mega Evolution for Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, and I think, as far as the typing goes, I think Flygon should go from a Dragon Ground Pokemon to Dragon Grass, which would also be a first. Now, of course, since Flygon has the word fly in his name, and he's based off of a huge-ass dragonfly, he has to keep that levitate ability so he won't get hurt by ground type moves. Or one thing they could do is give him some other ability, which might power up some dragon type moves, I don't know, and we can just make him be like a Venomoth. Like, he's obviously flying, but he still gets hurt from ground type moves. I mean, like, come on, how did they skip out on having Flygon Mega Evolve? They gave us Audino instead. Now here comes the controversial pick. Number 3, Arceus, and that's how you say it, Arceus, not Arceus, get it right. The ultimate Pokemon, the most powerful Pokemon ever, powered up even more. Now, I know a lot of people are going to disagree on this one with me because, of course, he's already the most powerful Pokemon without Mega Evolving, of course. And if you Mega Evolve him, he's just going to keep on being the most powerful Pokemon there ever is. So, but of course, he is apparently like the god or the creator of the universe and the Pokemon world and all that stuff. But as far as for when it Mega Evolves, his design and his concept would be a pretty strange one. So he definitely should keep that multi-type ability, but I think when it Mega Evolves, the move Judgment should change to a more powerful move, similar to what I had in mind for normal Eevee when he Mega Evolves. I'd say that this move, just to get out of the way, will be the most powerful move, and like it'll be the best move ever, and it'll be an OP move. It'll be banned from tournaments, but who cares because we'll only use it in single player, right? Nope. Alright then. Number 2, Zoroark. It would be weird not to mention Zoroark because of how I talked about Magearna. It should get a Mega Evolution for the same reason. He was the first Pokemon of his generation to be revealed. Maybe like Magearna, we still don't know yet. But what I think he should Mega Evolve into a Dark Fighting type because of course he really needs that defense boost. Because I love Zoroark, I really do. But I used him in my Black and White party. But his defense is just very bad and he dies so often. Zoroark is one of the coolest looking Pokemon out there, there's no doubt about that. But I just think he really needs a Mega Evolution just so you can get that defense boost if anything, and he should turn into a Dark Fighting type, because come on, look, he definitely looks like he can fight. And as far as his ability goes, I don't see that illusion ability going anywhere because that's part of Zoroark's charm. Number 1, all Johto starters, and yes, this counts as 1. So, come on, oh my god, I really wanted this, I don't know, because look, I can't even explain myself. Alright, so, every game since Mega Evolutions were introduced gave a generation of starters Mega Evolutions. Generation 1 got their Mega Evolutions in X and Y because of course nostalgia, and you get them as a second partner, so it was a good way to introduce it. Gen 3 got it in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire because, you know, they were that region's starters. I predict that Gen 7 starters, so Pokemon Sun and Moon starters, are not going to get Mega Evolutions, but instead, they're going to give them to Gen 2 stars because they skipped over them. Now, of course, this isn't favoritism, of course, even though everyone knows I love my Johto starters. I think it makes perfect sense because, of course, Gen 1 has Mega Evolutions, Gen 3 has Mega Evolutions, so they completely skipped over Gen 2. And if order and anything makes sense, this is going to happen in Sun and Moon. One thing I really hope they do in Sun and Moon is the same thing they did in X and Y, where you get your Gen 6 starter at the time, and then maybe a badge or two in, you get your Gen 1 starter with its Mega Stone. That was a cool way, that was a very, very cool way in X and Y to introduce Mega Evolutions, and I love how you can get 2 starters. That was never done before, at least for the story section. You can get some after the game in other games. But I think they should really do this, and I really hope they do in Sun and Moon, when you pick up your Gen 7 starter, then maybe 2 or 3 badges in, you pick up your Gen 2 starter, and that's where you also get his Mega Stone. And there you have it, my top 10 hopes for Pokemon Sun and Moon. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm actually really loving making this video, so I hope you guys enjoyed. Maybe I'll have a new video up next week, because of course, you know, Coro might leak earlier than next month, and we should have more information on Pokemon Sun and Moon. So if you guys enjoyed this video and want to see more, go check out the other 2 Sun and Moon videos I uploaded, and I plan on uploading some more next week. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Of course, if you're excited, make sure to subscribe so you won't miss out on those videos. Make sure to leave a like as always, and let me know what you think of my list in the comments. Maybe leave your list in the comments. I don't know, whatever you want. Thanks for watching, everyone. I will see you all later.